How is it that you pitch journalists on LinkedIn? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl M and PR. We're a public relations agency based in the UK, USA, as well as Uganda, and serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 10 of 39 days of public relations training, we're here to talk about how to pitch journalists on LinkedIn. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 11 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, when it comes to pitching journalists on LinkedIn, we've already discussed pitching journalists on Twitter. You're going to find potentially, probably, that there's going to be net more journos on LinkedIn than there are on Twitter. So we've already discussed, of course, lots of databases that there are available online that you can use to fundamentally discover journalists and get their contact details. So once you've collated your ultimately list of journalists, then jumping on to LinkedIn is definitely something that you want to do with a view to ultimately relationship build on LinkedIn. So the other thing that's quite interesting about LinkedIn is that if we jump onto the platform, what I'll do is we've got a account with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I want to show you fundamentally the amount of journalists that there are on LinkedIn is it's quite incredible. So as we log in, what you'll see, I'm going over to LinkedIn Sales Navigator, is if we search for the keyword, for example, journalist, and I'll show you some saved searches on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you have used LinkedIn Sales Navigator before, then if we jump into saved searches, you'll see that, for example, we've got United States Linnea. We've got, in this search that we've run previously, 1 million search results for anything along these lines. So this is a real good example of what you could do to fundamentally find potentially journalists and then begin to build relationships with them. So this is covered in some of the advanced training, the thinking and the strategy behind this, but you get 1 million ultimately producers of very relevant content in the United States. So what we do then, thinking about, let's just say, for example, there's a Forbes editor. I'm just going to do a search for a Forbes editor to see what materializes. And then you've got micro So we'll go to people, and then we can look at locations. I'm based in the UK. Let's have a look at what comes up in the UK. And now we've got editor, Forbes Advisor UK, Kevin Pratt, senior contributor, Forbes. So now we've got a bunch of people, current company, and shows the results here. So if we open up, for example, Kevin and Alison, so we've got the keyword Forbes editor with senior contributor Forbes and Kevin here. So what makes sense in this context is to identify some of Kevin's current work and to into the UK financial services market, and to again send a connection request with a view to ultimately beginning to like and comment upon their content, and then reach out and build a bit of a relationship. So that's really the view that I would recommend that you do take when it comes to, one, finding journos on LinkedIn, two, then looking at connecting with them and building a relationship with a view to free, then seeing if you can identify how you could get into a publication such as Forbes. So that's the approach that I think I'd recommend that you'd look at taking. And then four, of course, you've got this opportunity where you can look at a variety of tools that you can use to run outreach and to put together some messaging. But in the first instance, depending upon what your plan is in terms of building ultimately your experience and expertise within the world of public relations, relationship building with journalists is going to make a lot of sense. And there's a ton of journalists out there. As we discussed, if we looked at Kevin Pratt now on Google, Kevin Pratt editor, let's just have a look at what comes up. It will correct it for me. And we're going to now see here he is on Forbes, which will give us some information. Here he is on Twitter, and we've probably got him on Muck Rack. So Muckrack is, of course, the other platform that, and we can just see other platforms that he's writing upon. So Kevin Forbes, Kevin Pratt Evening Standard. Let's see if it's the same chat. Oh, okay. Hi, Kevin Pratt. It's not clear, but probably it is. Kevin Pratt. Here we go. This chat. Forbes. That's yep. So Forbes. Here we go. Same chap. Any chap you see on Purely Mine 16 hours ago. Something he wrote probably. He's probably retweeting his own stuff, I expect. So as you can see, you can begin to build the Kevin Pratt footprint, and much like we were doing with Twitter, it's about understanding who the man is or the woman, and then based upon that, connecting with them, and then conducting, targeted messaging with a view to building that relationship to then get them into a conversation, and then obviously publication. So there you have it, guys. That is some insights on how to pitch journalists on LinkedIn.